Russ Grimm. Guys, thank you. All right, we got, obviously it's 11 years now we've been doing this, and two things we always want to accomplish. Number one, we want you to get better as a person. And number two, we're going to make you a better football player. Now, there's a lot of drills we're doing today that these guys obviously have been playing in the league, coaching. They may not be exactly the same as your high school coach teaches you, but all the drills are good. Get out of there. Hey, what'd you do? Listen to me. Where were your hands? Down it, right here. Hit it. Back. Back. Get out of there. Hit it. Back. Back. Get out of there. Hit it. Back. Back. Get out of there.
So, you're under Coach Moore's tutelage at Pitt. You go to the big leagues in the NFL. His tutelage, his coaching, did that make that transition into the NFL a little bit easier?
Yeah, it made a big difference. You're already ahead in some of the technique stuff. The motivation part was already instilled, after 4 years with him in college. And yeah, basically you knew what was going on.
Yeah, right. All right, so let's go back to Pitt. You're a freshman, you get there. You get a guy like Coach Moore. You've probably never seen anybody like that before.
My first 2 years I was a linebacker.
Oh.
And then Jackie called me in and they switched me over to offensive line. And Joe came over to the offensive line. He was a running back coach. So then he came over to offensive line and he got Dan Radakovich, who was a coach with the Steelers, to kind of help me with some techniques and stuff. And John Kolb and Webby came over on twice a week for an hour, like in the evening, work with the hands and stuff like that. So yeah, it was, he learned a little bit as we were learning.
This is incredible. In the 11th year now, there's teams from Florida here, Virginia, I heard California. That's speaking to Coach Moore's legacy.
Well, it is, but it's also, I think it's also, there's not a lot of like offensive line camps. And we have 2 defensive stations because some of these kids go both ways. So we have, a couple years ago we put in 2 defensive stations, but it's still hands inside and controlling the blocker and stuff like that. But yeah, but the coaches, the coaches are voluntary. They come in on their own. We get them a room at the hotel, we'll feed them. But flights and travel and stuff like that, that's on their own doing. And they just, Joe Moore fits somewhere in their background, whether it's Pitt, Temple, or Notre Dame. And it's just a matter of, them coming and wanting to give back a little bit to the kids. He knew how to find a hot button. But we were playing somebody, and we'd sit starting 5 and then the backups behind it in the meeting room, and he would go down the lineup. Jimbo was a left tackle. He'd say, Jimbo, Fada, you need to double team, get to the backside backer. And he'd skip over me, and then he'd go to the right guard and right tackle. He'd say, Emo and May. He said, you guys need to slip block and get off the backside. And he'd go, with that cigarette, he'd go, and if our center can get a stalemate, he goes, we may have a chance. The whole week I was the center. I wanted to kill the guy I was playing against. All week, not by name, I was the center. So, yeah, he gets under your skin. But he was the type of coach that most of the guys that played for him hated him. But once you left and you realized that, you know what, he kind of got you ready for life. So.
Bingo.
Yep.
Thanks, brother.
Yep.